So The Hateful Eight, we've talked about it, I don't know, too many times. The movie was a movie, we saw
Way
it.
too much.
It wasn't that good. But it just sort of surfaced on the internet, and it kind of exploded. I can't believe you haven't seen it.
No.
It's amazing. It's the best part of that movie, as far as I'm concerned. Kurt Russell is a fucking hero.
To some. To some people, he's a hero.
Mostly...
To some, he's Nicolas Cage.
Except
National Treasure.
I haven't seen National Treasure.
You're not missing out. So, you remember that scene where
Daisy starts playing
the guitar?
Yeah.
And she's all like, look at me, I can sing. And the guy's all like, play that other verse. And she's like, okay. And then that happens, and then he's like, I don't want to listen to guitar no more. And he takes the guitar and he smashes it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the best part about that whole scene is
He wasn't supposed to smash it?
well, that guitar was actually from a museum. And
It's a priceless artifact.
over 150-year-old guitar. They had a duplicate, and they were supposed to stop the scene, and he was supposed
Switch
to smash
it out for the duplicate?
But he took the guitar and smashed it.
And Jennifer Jason Leigh's reaction is legit.
Her looking at Tarantino going, no, to smashing the guitar.
Yeah.
She literally looks at, like, the entire staff.
Because
Kurt Russell was...
she thought he just fucked up?
He did.
Oh.
He fucked up that guitar.
But did he, he knew he was destroying the real one?
No. He was the only one on set who thought it was the fake one.
Oh my god.
Why on earth would you have
Why
a
would
real
you
guitar?
use the real one for any of it?
Always use a fake one.
Why grab a priceless one in the first place? Any guitar can do.
Oh, that is awesome. That is just...
So there's Martin Guitars, they have a museum, and that's where they loaned it from. And they got paid out by insurance, but they're like, well, we're never ever loaning a guitar out again. Never loan one in the first
Certainly
place.
not to those fucks.
Like,
Oh, you mean this guitar that is priceless is going to be in a scene where you smash a guitar, but you're going to switch it out before?
Oh, sounds like nothing could go wrong.
Nothing bad happened in The Crow.
the best.
Certainly don't tell Kurt Russell.
The best part about the whole thing is that when they told the museum about what had happened, they were just like, yeah, there was an accident on set. So the museum was like, oh, like scaffolding fell on it or something like that. Okay, we understand. And then they saw Kurt Russell smash it.
Smash the shit out of it.
That's like, what are they going to do?
Was
Pretend
Quentin
like that's
Tarantino
not what
like,
happened?
hey guys, I'll show you a private screening of it?
Oh, that's your prize. This'll more than make up for it. There's an 8-second gif of like when he takes the guitar and smashes it, and you can see in her eyes the dawning realization and the terror she feels.
I could just imagine like the whole room just going silent, and then just like everybody looking at him, and he goes, "What? What was that a bad take?"
Well, we can't do it again, boys.
No, they still had the backup.
The fake one. Like, why?
just bring the backup one to the museum. Like, here,
They might not notice.
they might not.
The old switcheroo.
Why not just use the duplicate throughout the entire process?
Oh, it's more authentic.
Or even better, like all the movies these days, and fucking CGI one in. No.
That is awesome.
Welcome to Going Nowhere podcast. My name is Mark,
I'm Johnny.
And I'm Sheldon.
and today is Super Bowl day.
Yeah.
The football!
Sports.
America.
Oh, speaking of America, let's talk about the trailers that were released during the Super Bowl for like millions of dollars for ad time.
They were released.
It's funny how that is a huge draw for audiences. Like, I was talking to my mom, and I was like, "Are you watching Super Bowl?" "Oh, no, I don't like football." "Oh, no, I think I'll watch it for the ads." There's always good ads.
But you never really get the ads here in Canada unless you're like streaming it from an American
Yeah,
channel,
there's
right?
exclusives, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh?
But you can usually find them online.
Yeah, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Just watch them at any point in time after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, just look up on YouTube, but watch out, everyone and their mother and their dog
Has a
is coming
reaction
out with
video?
a fucking reaction video.
But I would be very wary because the Fine Bros might sue them for their react videos. And their subscribers continue to fall.
Well, they've
Slow down.
They've been
they've been releasing new videos now just to kind of like ignore the fact that they did that.
Fucked up.
I love that tweet you made about where our subscriber count goes up.
Yeah, we had 2 people follow us on Twitter.
Versus the 400,000 that left within a day. They're all coming to
So
us,
I mean,
boys.
hey guys, we're doing better than the Fine Bros.
Most of the trailers for Super Bowl were superhero movies for this year.
But that's because that's all that's fucking coming out between now and for the rest
Like,
of time.
I'm pretty sure that's how it was. Probably that's how it was the last couple of years, but it seems like this year in particular because
Okay, which ones did we have? We had X-Men, Deadpool, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, sort of. I mean, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah,
they're
it's still in the
superheroes.
same
Is Jason
sort of-
Bourne a superhero?
In a way.
Civil War.
Civil War. I'm surprised there was no Batman v Superman.
Yeah, no DC.
DC one.
I
And
guess
the Jungley also is the
Jungley Burke.
Bare necessities.
The Mowgli Burke.
But yeah, a lot of superhero movies.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
America and like Independence Day. Did we talk about? Yeah, we said that's a thing we said.
No, but now we have.
Okay,
That was the thing
well,
that we
that's
said.
another one.
Independence was another trailer that came out.
Kind of
True
a
facts.
superhero movie.
Oh god, all these
In a
trailers
way.
are so American.
Surprisingly,
Especially Independence
it's
Day.
weird that they're airing American trailers for American audiences on an American holiday.
In like the
How
most
dare they.
American like
Event of all
sport
time.
of all time.
Right? Despite it being a Canadian sport. Football, football's Canadian.
Oh well.
Awkward.
You know what else is Canadian? Ryan Adams. And Canada has apologized many times.
For Brian
For
Adams.
Brad.
More importantly, Deadpool is Canadian.
I suppose
Ryan
we
Reynolds.
shouldn't.
Ryan Reynolds.
We probably shouldn't call them trailers because they're more like teasers. The only one that I was surprised that kind of showed a little more was Civil War.
Oh no, Jungley The
Jungley Burke was the only one that was like 2 minutes long.
It was super
It was
long.
really long.
Yeah, but then again, Disney.
But
but
Marvel,
Yeah, exactly. They own
Yeah, but-
all the things.
they pretty much ran the whole Super Bowl.
Marvel, like, Civil War can sell itself. I think they put a lot of money into Jungley Book.
Well, they had to because it just looks like a CGI.
Jungley
fuckfest.
Burke.
Oh,
Jungley
right.
Burke.
I'm just excited for Scarlett Johansson's voice.
That's his name.
I don't know. I can just close my eyes and be like, oh, that's
Yeah, I
Anytime
will
she
close
talks.
my eyes in the
It's
theaters,
just-
and it'll be really awkward when the cops pull me out of a kid's movie.
dick in hand.
Put
Are you
Scarlet
kidding?
Joe!
Yeah, right. There'll be more people our age going to see it for nostalgia.
And
Except,
I-
there's nothing really nostalgic about it except for bare necessities.
Yeah, and I don't know. I like the original Jungley.
Jungley Burke.
But this is just gonna be a CGI.
Yeah, but
fest.
now they're coming out with every Disney animated movie as
Live action.
As live action. Well,
Because they did
live action.
Cinderella,
quote.
Maleficent, and
Yeah.
that.
trying to make it edgy.
I liked the first trailer they put out for Jungley Book.
Burke.
Sorry, Jungley Book.
Come on,
Jungley
get it
Burke.
right. It's
I'm
Jungley
dumb.
Burke.
Yeah, Jungley Burke. I liked it because they're like the only talking was Scarlett Johansson's character.
Yeah.
I didn't like their talking the way they
It was a little
Did it.
weird, a little off.
in that trailer. It
Which they could tweak a little
just
bit.
hyper
I guess.
CGI talking animals, and
It
I mean,
doesn't
it
look
looks
right.
it looks good. It looks good.
well, it may be just that we're watching it on your TV, which is amazing. Your TV still.
Yeah,
I'm not insulting
My
your TV at all.
Van Gogh Vision Quest.
I
What
think
the fuck is that?
I think we insulted it on a previous episode.
So all of our regular followers, Craig.
Can we just
will-
have a whole episode where we just make fun of your TV and then smash it at the end?
Yeah, it'll be an hour long.
But what are we gonna make
Episode.
fun of in the consecutive episodes?
His new TV.
You
have to
Van
buy-
Gogh's
It's not a
second.
Van Gogh, but it's a Picasso.
It's also a Vision Quest, though. What the fuck?
Vision Quest Picasso. What the fuck is a Vision Quest?
Uh,
Probably the search to get a better TV.
That's your quest.
I think I know why it's called Van Gogh though. It's kind of like art where you just get your own interpretation because you
abstract.
can't tell what the fuck is going on.
It's abstract as fuck.
Abstract TV.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, trailers. The X-Men one, what did you guys think about that one?
There were some new shots of some of the newer characters,
And
like
lots of action.
Psylocke.
He doesn't look like Ivan Ooze
As much.
As much.
I don't know. That looks like a CGI
They showed Angel. That was
I've
cool.
never seen Angel before in an X-Men movie.
Shouldn't have.
Well, what movie would he have been in?
Huh?
X-Men 3.
He was in X-Men 3.
What movie is that? I've never seen that.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, you fucking slow idiots.
Days of Future Past.
No, also that movie was dog shit, so...
I'm a
Yeah,
ghost.
and we can forget that one.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't as bad as Oranges.
No.
Which,
Yeah,
oh my god, and what they
Thank
did
God
to
we have.
Deadpool.
Thank
Yeah,
God we
well,
have
that's-
Deadpool for that.
Apparently, they reference his Ryan Reynolds shittier.
Well, yeah, no, that's
Because
they
they
reference Ryan
That's their
Reynolds
clear
quite a lot.
go-to
Yeah, and they're probably
joke.
going to be like, "Oh, great, this fucking hack is playing me."
Yeah. That and probably like,
Third time's the charm.
now my mouth isn't fucking sewn up.
Also,
like,
Wolverine is Canadian, and Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. That is a fact.
good job, buddy.
Yep.
You said those
Thank
things.
That they'll probably bring
are
up
you
in the
trying-
movie.
I thought you were trying to say that Wolverine will be in it, but I'm not so sure.
Oh, he will be.
You think Hugh Jackman's gonna?
Oh,
be?
absolutely.
Why?
Because
Then none of
Because
the
that's
other
what
X-Men.
the review said, and the review wouldn't lie.
yeah.
Fuck off. Get
Oh,
outta
my
here.
favorite part was when Hugh Jackman showed up.
The reviews,
I wonder if he's gonna show up now.
God damn it.
the reviews I read, they didn't mention it, so I thought maybe he wouldn't be in them.
Well, it makes
I'm
sense that he's
spoiled
in
for
it
it.
because Origins.
I guess with Weapon X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to do
Well,
something to
Is
Wolverine.
it
Yeah.
officially Weapon X? Do we know in the?
I don't know.
Because I don't
I'm
know.
just excited for comedy.
Oh, it's
That's-
definitely amazing.
That's the best part of it.
Every review I've seen has been nothing
It's
but
just a
glowing.
fun movie, which is what that kind of movie should be.
June Gleeberg though. June Gleeberg.
Jungle Bird?
June Gleeberg.
Okay.
June Gleeberg. Yeah, that honestly just looks like so much CGI. I don't know if I'm excited.
Is
for
Yeah,
it.
I'm not excited. I'm kind of curious. Like, I'll probably see it. on a
I'll rent
Tuesday.
it from my Blockbuster, my local Blockbuster.
Is June
Yes.
Burke this episode's?
No,
You mean the
This-
joke we beat into the ground.
but to be fair, this episode's is actually
Now that you brought that up,
sponsored by
that's just
and
the,
Disney. Since Disney owns
turns out that's
everything.
the joke for our series.
We were making cookies before this episode. And
Oh god.
He just walked up and started to make the noise. It's like, cookie cuckoo.
It's so spooky. I'm so scared now, guys.
Okay.
I'm cuckoo for cookies. Cookie.
Oh no.
In the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer, they showed Krang.
I still haven't
Krang?
seen the first one,
Yeah.
so I don't.
Krang.
I don't know.
Bebop and Rocksteady
Steady.
look fucking awesome.
They look like CGI fuckfests.
Yeah. And yeah, Krang looked cool.
You see his eye. That's all you really see. And like you see
Yeah,
the
and
body
you see the
suit.
body suit. Yeah.
It's cool to see that all coming to live action in a high budget way, I guess.
But like, I think I'm gonna enjoy this one more than I enjoyed the other one because this one looks like it just kind of rolls with the fact that it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
it's got that like
Well, the first one
It's
is
got
kind of an
Bebop and
origin
Rocksteady,
story, right?
yeah.
So I think
Um,
everybody's sick of origin stories in regards to superheroes.
do a Spider-Man movie.
Reboot it. How does Peter Parker become Spider-Man? We've never seen that before in the last 10 years. Twice.
With great power comes great blah blah blah.
That's it. That's the
That's
line.
it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
They showed Jason Bourne trailer.
I didn't know that was a movie.
I knew it was
I haven't
being
seen
filmed.
any of the Bourne movies.
Oh, I haven't watched.
Man,
it.
we're gonna
Are
have to
they,
do
are
a,
they good?
a Jason
Yeah,
Bourne.
especially
But
Bourne
did you-
Legacy.
Did you
I
see
haven't seen-
Legacy?
No, I haven't seen
With
it.
Renner?
Yeah, you mean
Board Legacy?
You're so clever, Johnny.
really?
I thought that's what you.
No,
I thought that was the joke you wanted to say,
But
but,
now
you
I'm
thought
gonna-
it'd be too late.
now I'm
And it was.
I got it for you, bro.
Thanks, brah.
You're a hero.
But was it bad or what?
From what I hear, it was pretty bad.
Did no one here see it?
No.
Oh,
We'll have to
Well,
see it
we'll
then.
have to.
So-
we'll have to watch it.
we'll do
if we
it
have to.
marathon before the new one.
Yeah.
They didn't show any shaky cam in the Jason Bourne trailer.
It was just
especially in the fight where he one punches someone.
he was essentially One
like
Punch
One
Man,
Punch Man, but with more hair.
and actual like facial features besides just eyes and mouth.
Um,
Independence Day, that looks like a CGI clusterfuck as well.
Yeah. What's his name?
Gold.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
That's the only reason why I'm thinking about going to see that movie. That and the guy who plays the president in the original as
Yeah.
well. Have you seen the original?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Will Smith couldn't do it because he's doing After Earth 2.
After 8?
After
You mean like the mints?
Are they
He's
really?
literally just in a factory pressing mints.
Packing fudge.
Good
He's
for
a
him.
fudge packer. What can I say?
Well,
Don't
he-
sue me,
He's
Mr.
not,
Smith.
He's not Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. I'm not a fudge packer. Sure, you're in a factory,
You're packing fudge.
putting fudge into a box, packaging it up, and shipping it up. You pack fudge, sir.
Yeah, Will Smith couldn't do it because he was doing After Earth 2.
Why? How did that get greenlit? I guess he paid
did.
for it.
It did.
Wow.
I'm joking.
Okay, good, because I was gonna.
Is he actually busy with some other?
What? Yeah, what
shitty
is he
movie?
doing?
He did
Squad's
Suicide
done.
Squad.
I guess,
right?
but that's done.
And that was
Yeah.
around the shooting of Independence Day.
Probably
Yeah,
the same with
yeah.
Concussion,
Yeah.
which I was surprised that Concussion wasn't
Nominated for any awards?
Because it was just the biggest fucking Oscar grab.
But it flopped really hard.
It flopped hard. That's it.
Yeah.
I like Will Smith movies, like Pursuit of Happiness, 7 Pounds.
Like if you look at other movies that are kind of like that, what's that one with Sandra Bullock?
Blindside.
Blindside. Like I think of Blindside when I see that, the feel-good, inspirational
I didn't
football
I guess-
story.
Guess
But
Will Smith was
Rudy.
blindsided by the Oscar nominations.
No, I can only do bad jokes.
You're both terrible.
Did you have to do the arm motion?
You
Bored-
missed out on
Bored Legacy? I hate you so fucking much.
So
You guys are the
clever.
worst.
So clever.
Just
You'll
the
get
worst.
yours.
And
I'm just gonna be silent for the rest of it. It's gonna be golden.
So for another trailer that came out, Ben
Ben 10 live action.
What?
Ben 10 Cloverfield Lane.
No,
Lane.
clever fold lane.
Fold Lane.
That's what I wrote.
You have
That's
to
what
say
it's
it.
called.
Like Jungly Burke, written there. We're reading it.
Ben 10 clever fold
What the
lane.
fuck? What the fuck is Murica?
Murica.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just, you
Just
know.
because of Super.
Murica.
Yeah,
Okay,
we have a cheat sheet, by the way, for those who are confused by what the fuck we're talking about.
I'm also confused and I'm looking at it. What the fuck
So-
is this?
So a trailer came out for Ben 10 Cleverfold
Lame. Lame, sir. Read. I know English is tough to
So-
read.
pull it together,
so
man.
hard to read.
When it's so stupid. Not like
Just wait till we get
Jungly Burke.
The listeners are going to be like, what the fuck? So 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Ben 10 Cleverfold Lame. It's not that tough.
Wait till
bud.
we get to Pacific Rim Jordan.
Anywho, this movie. Go on, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. So 10 Cloverfield Lane. I'm calling it that.
Holy
Just
fuck,
for
we
right now.
didn't interrupt you.
Okay.
Fucking go. Jesus.
Came out and everyone was like losing their shit about it, right?
God, take forever.
Why was everyone losing their shit? Just Stop,
Because it was-
stop derailing him. He does a good enough job on his
Squirrel.
It was a follow up to Cloverfield, and apparently everyone fucking loves that movie. I don't know why.
People like it?
I remember when it came out, everybody hated it. Or-
But everyone was like posting it up on like Facebook.
One of our friends really liked it, and that was the only friend I know. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, but it's so unique and
We
edgy.
saw a Serbian film with him.
Oh,
Yeah, he fucking loved it, but he was super into like the lore, quote unquote lore, because they had all that
oh Lord.
advertising campaigns online where like they kind of told you what the movie was going to be online if you followed the viral campaign,
Yeah.
but you had to do a lot of work on it and give a shit. But it's a movie and I just wanted to watch it.
No,
Oh,
but
so-
that's why you have the internet, so that other people do the
Do the
work
work?
for you, and then you look it up. Okay, so Ben 10 Cleverfold Lame
You got
is
it, nailed it.
Yeah, nice.
is not going to follow any lore from Clover. Well, maybe they're going to shovel some in, because it was originally produced as an independent movie with a low budget from some studio, and that studio went under, so the film or whatever they shot so far was up for grabs, and whoever owns Cloverfield,
Whatever company that is.
J.J. Abrams, I think his
Okay.
like
yeah,
robot
just
bad
picked
robot.
it up for cheap because it was like a bunker movie where monsters were up, right? But it had nothing to do with Cloverfield. and then they literally just shot around it with the same actors just to fit it into.
Did they just think it would be more successful that way? Strange.
I don't know.
I mean, you can label it with something that people semi-enjoyed. You're showing
And then
that
you
it's-
make a lot of money off something
Just
you
something-
literally just picked up for like super cheap.
And something recognizable. I
No
guess.
one. I don't think Cloverfield, the name itself, is worth much as far as making a new. Actually, like going out of your way to make a new movie in that franchise. So why not just slap something on?
Yeah,
People go
That'll
see
be
it
so out of place, though. You'll finish watching what will have been the original movie, and then they'll just like get out of the bunker, and there's just a monster there.
Well, I'm kind of curious to see. Like they've probably like done a really good job at like fitting it into the Cloverfield, because I mean it cost them nothing to do, right?
Well, yeah, it's a free movie.
Yeah, hopefully
for them.
they incorporate it
Any
properly.
any
but-
money they make is money made. Like
And that's why it wasn't like a handheld like shaky cam thing, right?
Yeah, that might make it more bearable to watch. I like the actors in it. Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Goodman.
And the other guy who
Jim.
is in Newsroom, I don't know his name though.
Jim.
Yeah, Jim.
He's probably got a name.
He's a good actor. Yeah. So I'm kind of curious to see how much screen time you'll get with monsters.
If it's anything like Cloverfield,
Or
who
Godzilla.
cares?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Okay. Johnny, you've never seen Cloverfield.
No.
I gave Johnny a Cloverfield simulator, so which means I shook his head around as much as I possibly could.
If that's actually what it's like, I'd rather not.
Well, think of putting a camera inside of a paint shaker at Canadian Tire, turning it on, and for 2 hours.
Art.
Yeah, but then at the end there's a shitty CGI monster that doesn't look spooky at all. And, this is not good.
No, it's not. I did like the subway scenes.
It was so dark though, and
Yeah.
like the camera bounces so much that you're just like, what the fuck's happening?
I remember seeing it the first time and thinking it was good, and then the second time I saw it in theaters, my head hurt so fucking badly. Yeah.
But it's good enough you saw it twice in theaters.
I wanted to see it again because it was like the first real time that you had shaky cam, right?
Well, no, because it was
Found
Blair
footage?
Witch was the first.
Yeah,
in
well,
that,
yeah.
right?
But for like a monster movie.
I want to give full props just right now to the first movie that actually did found footage right, Paranormal Activity, and one word, tripod. Fucking sit that camera down and don't fucking move it. Done. Win. Easy. None of that
Really.
shaky cam bullshit. And like making up an excuse for the camera to be on. If you're running from a fucking monster, you know what happens to your camera? Leaving that shit behind.
Or you can do it the M. Night Shyamalan way, the way he did it in The Visit, and just have these like super high, big, giant cameras filming the movie, but then have it be like the girl's camcorder or whatever.
her cell phone camera.
But she couldn't have possibly been holding it there.
No, there's literally like a shot of like the film being made, like a still, and it's literally just this big giant fucking camera on this guy's shoulder.
Just like
super high
normal
def.
Hollywood movie
Yeah.
style, and then
But like,
Found footage.
found footage.
They just found that laying around.
Yeah.
Oh, who filmed this? Wow, looks really good.
I understand that gripe, but at the same time, you don't want to see a shitty.
yeah,
It's for the sake of
it looked good,
presentation,
and it was good, right? Like I didn't care if that camera she's using isn't lifelike to her budget and blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
No, I don't want to see a shitty like $40 camcorder version of this movie. I want to see the fucking movie and it look good. Get over it.
Yeah.
But monster movies.
So was that anything like Godzilla in the sense that
Uh,
there was barely any of the monster on
The
screen?
Visit was not at all like Godzilla.
Cloverfield. Are you
Oddly
sure?
enough, there was barely any Godzilla in both of them.
I thought the visit was a monster.
If the monster was poop, then yes.
Actually, I'm gonna say there was about equal amounts of time dedicated to Godzilla in both The Visit and Godzilla. is that inaccurate?
Well, then that's a fair question.
yeah, I'll give you that.
So monster movies. Is there a nice balance between showing like the monster and having it have enough screen time, and versus not?
There were parts of Godzilla that kind of got it right, like when he finally started doing the fighting. It was the way they cut it, I think, because they kept moving back and
Well,
forth.
the entire fucking movie was a big giant tease.
Cock tease.
There's the one shot in particular where they're like going into a subway or some shit, and there's doors closing, and you can see the monsters fighting, and then the doors are just like slowly closing, like oh.
Well, okay. The scene that pissed me off the most in Godzilla was the scene where they like go to that oh god, why am I blanking so hard?
Airport?
In
Airport.
Hawaii?
Thank
On
you.
airport?
Airport. I'm blanking on airport.
The air place.
Yeah, the airplane.
With the planes go wee.
With the planes and the monsters.
The plane
and
shop.
Where they fly. Anyway, they go to the airport.
Yeah, so they're at the airport, and there's the monsters you've been following that isn't Godzilla.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Godzilla shows up, and they do like the big giant screech like they're about to fight,
And then
it cuts
to a TV.
to a TV where you kind of see the fight, but it's like, oh, we pulled away.
That one was mean, but the one that pissed me off so fucking much I wanted to walk out of the movie, was when they were actually fighting at the final end of the movie, and they were fucking killing each other, and it was great. And then it pans down to the soldiers trying to kill the eggs, and I'm like, I don't care!
It pans to them on,
so much!
It was like Lord of the Rings on the ground with these soldiers, where they were just walking to their destination. So you didn't really need to show them intercut to them walking anywhere.
It's like, we get it, they're going.
Just show
us them getting there.
Being there and doing that, but give me fucking Godzilla.
Like, if they're trying to show the battle happening around them, like, Transformers kind of did that with, like, in the first one with Shia LaBeouf, like, trying to escape with the cube, and you've got the Transformers doing shit all around them.
And that was a great movie.
Works.
Everyone loved the Transformers movies.
But it kind of worked in that sense. Yeah, I know.
Great example.
No, that's not what I was going for.
I know
But
what you mean.
yeah, like, in Godzilla, they showed them completely separate or, like, barely, like, way off in the background. So it was just, like, really distracting and annoying.
Versus Godzilla when you just want to see something cool and no. The trailer was the best part of the
Well,
fucking
okay,
movie
so
for
here it is.
Godzilla.
Garrett Edwards?
Gareth Edwards.
Gareth Edwards.
Junglibor.
Jungle. That fucking douchebag, who directed Godzilla and is doing the new Star Wars movie that's coming out this year.
Douchebag, please don't sue. Rogue's leader?
Yeah.
Leader?
Rogue Squadron
Rogue
leader?
I think
Rogue One.
Rogue Squadron's a game.
So he did a movie that got him the Godzilla slate, called Monsters. And the trailer for that promised monsters. The title of the fucking movie is Monsters. You see 15 minutes of fucking monsters in that movie.
Were they cool?
No. No, they weren't.
Sounds exactly like Godzilla. The trailer was Godzilla, them, like, parachuting out of the sky by Godzilla, and then the movie had
Barely any
15 minutes, 10 minutes,
Godzilla.
about 30 seconds of Godzilla.
So it's the premise of that one is that like this guy gets sent in like a no-fly zone to get one girl out of the country to another spot, but the only way to get her there in time is to go through like a forbidden zone where monsters are. So cool. That sounds like a premise where you get monsters. They're in a fucking jungle apparently filled with monsters. You don't get any. Just like Godzilla blue-balled me with Godzilla.
You know what else Godzilla did to blue ball me was take Bryan Cranston away. Like 20 minutes into the movie. Well, not really, but he wasn't in it as much as everyone thought he would be.
He was a far better actor than
He
Aaron
might have
Johnson.
made the human side of the story a lot more interesting.
Compelling.
There was absolutely no reason for them to really kill him off.
Probably cost too much money.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
he was coming off of Breaking Bad, and he's also fucking great. And Aaron Tyler Johnson is awesome.
Discount
Quicksilver. He's literally Quicksilver, but he's discount
Michael
Quicksilver.
Cera? Not anymore.
No,
I
that's Jesse Eisenberg.
All right, yeah.
think we can all agree the scenes in Godzilla
Lex Luthor.
with Godzilla were really awesome. like the fire breathing.
When he
And
breathes
the-
down its throat,
Like,
yeah.
people argue that there's the payoff because they don't show much up to that. Then suddenly they show the parts that are really badass.
But then when
and then
you
it
want to,
feels like it all built up, but they did such a bad job of pacing it that
but when you want to focus on Godzilla, because they tease you throughout the entire fucking time, when they actually show that fight, they continuously cut away from it.
That's
there was
the
one
worst part.
solid chunk I think there towards the end, but that was
No,
that
it
was
still it still kept cutting back because it was him getting on the boat and then like going out into the water to blow up the nuke. It was never just Godzilla and
for more than like
a minute.
Yeah,
More than a
minute,
minute,
probably.
like max, yeah,
And
for sure.
that,
I gotta rewatch
that
it,
sucks.
but I wasn't so tempted for a while. Maybe now.
Okay, what about King Kong?
that was a movie.
That was a movie that had
The
monsters
Peter
in it.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Kong?
I don't think I've actually
I
seen
don't.
it.
I've never seen it.
I think it got a lot of hate, and I didn't see it either.
Is,
Wow.
is that a movie we all haven't seen?
We all haven't seen it. And
All I know is I'm in it.
Jack Black, yes,
Yeah.
you were in it, Jack. Yeah. That's maybe
So-
be a good thing.
I didn't read the script. I just went in and did my Jack Black thing.
And then I left.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Well,
What-
because we
okay.
haven't seen it.
I'm sorry, but it's pretty simple. Goes to island, snags King Kong. King Kong falls in love with Broad, comes back to New York, climbs the Empire State Building. GG.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. I don't know why it needed to be a 3.5 hour long fucking movie. Besides Peter Jackson being like, let's raise the bar. Oh, fuck off.
CGI.
What bar?
Stop it,
Peter Jackson. Stop talking
I
about this
made-
bar
Push the limits.
of CGI. Okay, well, because we haven't seen that one, we've all seen Pacific Rim Job.
I haven't.
All right, you haven't.
Pacific Rim Jorb?
Rim Jorb?
Did you put
I didn't put an R. No, it's Rim.
No,
Rim.
it says Rim Job.
No, it says
Okay.
Rim Job.
Rimb. R-I-M-B.
Oh,
Job. Rim Jorb. It should be Rim Jorb.
I know. How dare I?
Yeah, you kind of fucked that up, John.
You guys had mixed opinions about that one.
Me more than Sheldon.
No, I thought some parts of it were fantastic, and some parts of it, the human elements fucking sucked.
Even
For
though
me?
Idris Elba was alright.
It's super bland, and it doesn't push any. It's just cliche.
My biggest,
Godzilla.
I think my biggest
Mm.
concern with that whole movie is two things. The Charlie Day story, as much as I love Charlie Day and like Ron Perlman, that whole storyline ended up not paying
Matter.
off at all. So they could have focused a little bit more or strengthened that in a way.
Well, it was all about his sacrifice at the end, right?
Yeah.
When the dad chooses to. Bleh.
Yeah.
Don't spoil.
But
Bleh.
I don't care though.
I know. It's you've had how fucking long to watch it? Fuck you. I'm gonna spoil anything I want.
You had seen it too recently, so we never watched it.
I think the thing that kind of bothered me a little bit more about it, and because we went and saw that in IMAX, was the weather effects for that movie. The weather effects and like being underwater constantly, all of that detracted so much from the actual fight that you could barely see sometimes what the monsters were doing and what the
Transformers.
I only had that problem for a couple fights, particularly when it was raining.
yeah.
If it was raining too heavily,
Yeah,
it was
that's
tough
what I
to
meant.
see.
But after watching it like a little bit more after seeing it in theaters, I think I was way more disappointed after seeing it in theaters than I am now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I rewatched it and like now that you kind of understand what's going on.
Well, I think that happens like the first fight. There's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of to cover up just like how monstrous they are, and then
Yeah.
eventually you can see fully. So it kind of has some
It's a
mystery.
stylistic choice, I guess.
I think so, but I mean, it still doesn't make up for the B grade storyline that's essentially Zion Matrix, the Zion City.
Mm.
That's the story. They're trying to fight off, instead of the Matrix machines, it's just monsters.
And they've just created this haven.
Well,
Like
it's the last place on Earth that can fight because they're destroying their mech program.
and
Well,
that's
that
the
story's
thing.
never been told before.
I think that's another. Yeah, okay. Pacific Rim didn't really like it knew what it was, but it didn't know what it was because it's a kaiju
Yeah, that's
film,
not bad.
right? Where like machines fight big giant monsters, but they focus way too much on the human aspect of it, which there's a balance there, and I know that you need to have human story.
I honestly think that the balance was perfect, but the human side was so fucking weak that it didn't compensate for. Like, I think I got just enough monster fighting kaiju that it, like monster versus robot, that it was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's fucking awesome. Like they pick up the whatever, like the battleship, whatever, and he fucking kills shit.
Yeah,
with it.
that's
Like,
true.
that's super badass. But the people side is just so fucking bland and cliche that it's like, just kind of get back to, if you're not gonna have something interesting, if you're not gonna have something emotionally engaging, get back to the monsters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that there was that one point where they like build up that relationship between the guy and the girl. Sorry, Johnny.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Watch the fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
No, like,
So
come on.
they bring up the relationship, and then like they get him in finally into the machine, and then she like thinks back about memories, and like
And then
they're
he
like,
sees
oh,
her
no
memories.
flying again, and then you get another like 20 minutes of like human story. Which I understand why they did that. There's probably an easier way of doing that without adding another like 20 minutes of horror.
That flashback, though, was probably my favorite
Oh, yeah,
human
for
moment
sure.
of the movie.
But they could have had that where like it was about to malfunction and then she like picked herself up and then you move on to fight monster fights.
But no, they shut it down.
Instead of shutting it down and then like completely canceling it out.
Well,
right?
there's a certain point where you're like, you need runtime.
Yeah.
I think it'd be difficult to find a good
But,
balance between the human and monster side because I think it's part of it in a person's brain when they're watching. Like you're appealing to just the like cool in your face, easy action stuff, but then it just goes to character development. And it's really hard to kind of switch
But if you
back and forth.
put Godzilla and Pacific Rim beside each other, Godzilla is the story of the horrors of what humanity has done with nukes and stuff like that, right? And it's a human tale about like being in the city with this big giant thing that's like you've never seen before, right? Meanwhile, Pacific Rim is this like, oh, we've been fighting these monsters forever. There's like a reality TV show about us fighting monsters, but now they're getting tough. And like there's that comedy / actiony side of Pacific Rim that Godzilla didn't have, because Godzilla,
Well,
you're supposed to feel heaviness,
the
right?
reason they
That's
didn't have it in the new Godzilla is because they had it in the 1998 Godzilla,
Yeah.
and everyone hated that. Was so panned.
But
Oh,
what
yeah.
what I was trying to say was like the human both movies have terrible like human story lines, except for when Bryan Cranston was there.
Which
Some
was
of it,
still pretty stock.
yeah. But like why do that whole scene where he loses his wife only for him to die? Because then the whole introduction, like I know he lost his mother, but he wasn't there. So, like, he didn't feel it as badly as Bryan Cranston
Yeah,
did,
they
right?
built up Bryan Cranston's character. That's all that really did because we saw his reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was nowhere else to go.
So then when it jumps from, like, mom to dad to the son's so, like, didn't see...
It didn't feel like it was his story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. I think Pacific Rim could have been a little bit lighter on the human side of things and just been fun. And Godzilla should have been a little bit more heavier, but a lot more, like, epic than it was, right?
And cut in a less cock-teasing manner.
I don't think you necessarily have to have too much monster. I think you can have too much monster in a movie. I think in a movie titled Godzilla, in this day and age, you probably should put Godzilla in the movie. I mean, it's just an idea, but there are other monster movies out there that don't have much monster, but they're still very effective, like The Mist.
Let them fight.
Yeah, no.
I'll be interested to see this sequel to Godzilla. Jesus. Yeah, now that he's established. So, like,
Well, it wasn't even like
If they and they bring
origin
it
story.
like the other monsters, I
They
didn't
don't
really care
need an
about.
origin story, right? And I like the fact that they were like, "Oh, he's back," and then like
That he's been around.
Yeah, and
That's
then
awesome.
Godzilla was like,
You mean why Ken Watanabe was there?
Yeah, pretty much. And then he was just like following the monsters and like trying to defend, right? And he's like that big legend.
I don't think anyone found the other monsters particularly interesting out of all the treasure trove of monsters
Past
in the
ones?
Godzilla universe. Are they going with Mothra next? Mothra, is that his name?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's probably Mothra, because that's everyone knows Mothra. I'd like Gamera.
That'd be cool.
Mechzilla?
I would like to see Mechzilla eventually, but it better not be the next one, because there's no way humanity's built a fucking giant...
Instant
Well,
retaliation.
Okay, so from what we know so far, Godzilla 2 is going to come out, and then they're going to do a tie-in with King Kong?
Yes, they want to have King Kong be Godzilla again. Because reasons.
Because why not?
Because money.
That's the reason for anything.
Yeah.
Well, if they do that, then that... If I think if Godzilla does well, and if King Kong does well, and that fight does well, they might actually make Gamera a movie about Gamera, because Gamera is its own thing. I don't know
Just
if
a
you know.
cinematic universe.
I don't know if you know
Which would be
Gamera,
cool. Like
but
a monster cinematic universe.
but yeah, it'd be fucking sick. It'd be great.
Yeah, if they do it right.
Yeah. But unfortunately, they had to put Pacific Rim Job.
Rim
Jorb.
God.
Pacific Rim Jorb 2 on hiatus.
Del Toro just fucking can't get work these days.
Yeah.
I
No
feel
kidding.
so sorry for the guy.
He works hard too.
Well, I don't say that.
Yeah. You mentioned The Mist as being a monster movie, and everyone agrees with that. 'cause there's
Tentacles
monsters
and
stuff. Well, especially when
whatever's
they're in
at
the
the
mist and like you see them like walking.
The giant monsters, and then
Yeah.
monsters that break into, there's the flying things.
It's
and
just a
there's the
little
spider
bit
stuff.
different from the other ones because they're not. I don't know.
They're not named.
Yeah, really.
And they don't fight them in giant mechs or something.
They're a little more mysterious. I'm not really sure, but yeah, the Mist was pretty good. I think it was pretty good.
That was the only movie I've ever been in that's received a standing ovation.
Yeah, well,
When,
the ending is just like heavy as fuck.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I was watching interviews about it, and Stephen King they had used the original book's ending, and then one of the guys who wrote the script wrote like an alternative ending for it, and then Stephen King was like, no, that's the ending to the movie.
Yeah.
Like the proper ending can be the alternative ending.
The book kind of suggests to that ending.
Okay.
The novella, the short story. But
Didn't it just happen somewhere else? Like they pulled over to a motel.
Yeah.
And then he did it there.
well, no, he doesn't do it. They leave with hope, but it's because it's written in first person. It's like a diary. You can't. They couldn't do
It's just
that.
not.
So-
It's just not explicit.
Spoiler
Yeah.
warning for listeners. Just if you haven't seen The Mist, go watch it. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds.
One Mississippi to Mississippi, Mississippi. Okay, good.
All right. So what the ending we're talking about is the main character and his son
Jungly
and
Mergleber. Yeah, that's it.
Mooglyber, what?
Mergleber.
Mergleber.
I don't know. We're just saying things,
and
aren't we?
Scarlett Johansson.
Anyway, so Tom Jane and his family go up for a nice Sunday drive in the fog.
And he's got a gun. Oh boy.
And he's got enough ammo for everyone in the car but him.
4 bullets, 5 people.
Yeah.
Can't line 2 people's head up
And
together. Fucking
and they've
nice.
been
Could
they've
screw
been
up.
driving for forever, in the mist, and they're like, oh, I guess the mist is here forever. So, Thomas Jane pops like everybody in the car,
He kills his kid?
including his son.
His girlfriend that he's been fucking for the last however long he's been in the mist.
Yeah.
Because his wife's long dead.
Yeah,
And 2 old people.
and
And
two
Two
old people.
and who cares?
Dale from The Walking Dead.
Does Dale go with him? I think
Yeah.
Dale.
Really?
'cause-
He was one of them?
Yeah, Dale's one of them, and
Because
then
that's a Frank
yeah.
Darabont.
it is
yeah.
Frank Darabont. So it's Dale, Andrea, and Carol are all in it.
Oh yeah,
But Carol didn't.
Carol
She wasn't.
Carol
towards the
leaves
end.
at the beginning, and then she comes
Doesn't
back.
she go to
at the
find
end.
her daughter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she survives.
So Thomas Jane pops everyone in the car.
That's right.
And he's so shocked by this, obviously, because he just shot his own son. He gets out of the car. He's on his knees. He's crying.
And military comes.
Oh no! He shouts for the monsters to come and kill him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then out of nowhere, the mist starts disappearing.
And the military drives by, and they
they're
just
like,
conquer it.
oh, hey.
And they have like
We
the
got
most like passionate chanting song playing in the background. That 300 epic like choir thing, and it's fucking
and near the
devastating.
beginning of the movie, Carol, the person Carol plays from, I don't know her actual name.
Melissa McBride.
Okay, Carol. So Carol at the beginning of the movie is like, I need to go grab my kids. Can someone please help me with my kids? If any of you are real men, you help me get my kids. And everyone's like, nah, man, we're staying. We ain't going in the fog. Fuck that. And then so she's like, well, fuck all you pussies.
I can do it.
I'm gonna go do this because I'm Carol from The Walking Dead. And then so she goes out, and then at the very end of the movie, when the military comes, you see her like totally safe with her kids.
And she's like super happy eating a bowl of like cereal,
Ice cream.
high fiving everyone.
We did it!
And then
And Tom Jane's just like
I'm gonna
laying
be
on the
Punisher
side
now.
of the road.
like sobbing because he
And then
killed
she
his family.
looks at him and laughs.
And then the credits roll.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh well.
And you're like, oh, man.
Oh,
Was not expecting that.
but that was
So I-
there was monsters in it, but the human side of things was great.
Really interesting, and it was about the monsters of humanity, what
Yeah.
are like the religious zealot that
trying to get people to, find comfort in something during this.
But in the context of
but-
monsters.
yeah.
Because they don't know what it is, and it's just like, oh, look what happens to people who are trapped in this place, basically.
So, speaking of
Sort
monster
of like
movies,
the Thing.
It's Trapped in Places.
there
yeah.
you go. So Johnny had never seen The Thing, and they were playing it at one of our bigger theaters.
Which The Thing?
The Thing,
John Carpenter's
1982.
Two. John
1982.
Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
Because they named both the fucking same thing.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And we watched it on the big screen. And what did you think?
I thought it was fantastic. I can't believe the effects for the time. Like, it just looks amazing and the way they did it. I know we had a whole session where we talked about practical versus CGI, and I hadn't seen The Thing at the time, but now I kind of see where you guys were coming from and talking about the use of practical effects and how it adds certain elements. And it's just, even though you could tell it's fake, there's still that certain feel to it.
So, just to kind of reiterate on that whole CGI versus practical effects, I watched a video and, it was a video essay about, why we hate CGI so much. And it's just because the CGI you notice is bad CGI. The CGI that bothers you is just because it's bad CGI. There's CGI literally everywhere in all movies, but you don't notice them because the CGI is done well. When the CGI is done well, you don't realize it.
Well, there's certain types of CGI, like touch-ups and things that don't look out of place normally. But if we're talking like monsters, that's where it makes a big difference.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Things that aren't real, right?
The difference between Jurassic Park and Jurassic World.
Yeah.
It's how you film it and how you utilize the CGI. The Jurassic Park T-Rex was sometimes live action, like real practical effects, and sometimes CGI. But if it was CGI, it would be wide shots,
Yeah,
very
it depends
far
on
back.
on the shots. Yeah.
Whereas the practical would be like close up, so it would look real.
Yeah.
And it's being smart like that.
Yeah, and CGI is like really good at from far distances adding things like people and CGI. They do water physics really well and all of that stuff.
Really great for cropping out mirrors.
Yeah.
So if you have you catch a camera or something in the background, gone.
Oh
And-
yeah.
and little
Touch-ups.
stuff like Furiosa's arm in Mad Max.
Yeah, and cables,
yeah,
holding actors,
exactly.
that sort of stuff. Clearly, that's the main use for CGI.
But CGI using it for physics, like people jumping and stuff like that, they don't have it right yet.
Well, it's always going to not quite look authentic.
It's that
because it's straight up
uncanny, it's
not.
that uncanny valley, right?
I don't understand. Because I've seen I can't think of better people jumping. Then CGI Legolas.
Then Jar Jar or Jar Jar Binks.
You mean Lego Lost?
Mario less.
Yeah.
Bum, bum.
Yeah, I mean, for example, you see it in Avengers Ultron with the opening scene where they're all jumping and that you get that, like, giant cut of, like, all the superheroes
What
lined up.
pauses?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, it looked
That's because it's not like that's something you can ever film. I mean, especially with the Hulk in there.
But yeah,
And Iron Man.
back to the thing. You know when they find that spaceship in the movie?
Yeah.
That whole thing is drawn.
I could tell. I was
you
going to
could
mention
tell.
that because it looks like they walked into a painting.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
was like,
but
I could
those-
tell, but it looked better than it would have been CGI.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like they did it where it was like it was really cool because they had the painting, but then they like had the two people standing on it, so
Yeah.
it looked like they were actually on the ship. And then when it came to a close up of them,
With the hatch.
they actually put a hatch there, so it like looked like it was like they were actually on it. So it was like cool things like that.
Yeah, there's always a lot of little tricks that you can do with practical effects. It just all felt very authentic in the thing. There's the one part where they're like the guy's doing the autopsy and he's pulling out his organs, and they used actual animal organs for that.
Oh,
I was
really?
reading, and apparently everybody on set was all grossed out except for the guy who was doing it because he used to like gut animals or something. But that's why it looked so real, and that's why it was kind of like ugh. Same with when they're like cutting their thumbs.
Yeah.
Like that's authentic, I'm sure.
Okay.
So you can just kind of feel the cringe because they're actually cutting their thumbs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting monster because it never really has one form.
Yeah, there's no. It's not like this is the monster. It's just the monster changes. So
In many ways, it's similar to the monster, in quotes, from Hate Blade, Kurt Russell. Smashing
monster.
guitars. Yep,
What a
fucking cocksucker.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it now that you've seen it, you can probably imagine the amount of people pissed off about the Thing remake. Well, remake / prequel / reboot.
yeah,
Where they all filmed in practical effects using minimal green screen to like CGI what they needed in that movie, and then when it came to post production, some
The
studio was like, "Oh, that looks bad. Let's CGI the whole fucking thing," and then you get that movie, which was not a bad movie.
There are two problems with it. One's the CGI, and two is that the Norwegian team all speak perfectly fluent English.
Yeah.
well, that doesn't make any sense.
No. Well, but beyond that,
They speak English because of the American,
yeah. But
and that's the only.
Let's stage a bilingual
Yeah, well,
researchers in Antarctica.
they pick, and that's how they get away with it. I guess is like they're like, oh well, we need an American, and then
just to make
the American audience feels attached because it's an American in a
someone to root for.
right.
There's
Because we're not gonna vote. We're not gonna root for somebody from a different fucking country.
Fuck
We're
those
America.
guys.
Super Bowl. Touchdowns and
The hockey.
pigskin.
What? Scored a par.
I didn't realize that.
oh, they cleared the goalie.
The thing wasn't the first movie adaptation of the book, because that's what it's based off of the book.
There was
Yeah,
an
well, there
older
was
one.
There was
the
the older one.
Yeah.
I don't imagine you guys have seen that, but
It's pretty much your typical 50s science fiction
So
movie.
schlock.
Yeah.
that's too bad. But apparently when John Carpenter's The Thing came out, it had terrible reception, and nobody liked it. And they likened it to the fact that E.T. had come out at
Oh,
a
okay.
similar time,
Yeah.
and people were looking for a different
Happy alien.
alien interpretation.
Well, they
It's
when
weird though.
when Alien came out, people hated it because they were like, "Oh, it's just your like typical Thrasher in space,"
I
right?
don't understand that.
But it had so much more. It had like androids and like the alien doesn't even show up until like halfway through the movie, and even then
It's
very
practical effects that are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's weird how some of these movies are becoming cult classics, and I'm not talking like The Room or ones that are have
Intentionally
become cult.
bad.
Yeah, they've become cult classics because they're funny, or like Rocky Horror Picture Show because it's a spectacle for some reason. But yeah, some actual good movies from the past are suddenly they're just cult classics from the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Everybody loves them, and
Despite
it's like
being lukewarm
why
reception.
weren't they why weren't they received well at the time?
Yeah, well, Evil Dead.
And then you gotta wonder movies that are coming out right now. I wonder if we're missing some right now.
Well,
They
Yeah,
will be cult
Birdman.
classics in the
No.
future.
well,
Hopefully that one gets forgotten.
there's a quote by somebody at some point who said this thing where
People do that.
Yeah,
Oh, I heard that one.
where they're like, if you think about it, 30, 40 years from now, there'll be that like one rebellious kid who's just sitting in a room listening to Justin Bieber, and all our friends are like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm super into the classics. Think about that for a
I
second.
hate that thought.
You're welcome, world.
Well, that is interesting when you think about what will classics now become known as, or are they just gonna fade into
Super
obscurity?
classics, yeah.
Well, yeah, like
Everything-
classical music, right? Like what's
Like our bands, like the
But, I mean,
Beatles,
you-
really timeless.
There's still timeless things. I want to say like Mozart and Beethoven, they're still around.
yeah.
Like their
You just
music,
don't notice them, or
it's a specific
they're not
niche.
identified in the same way.
I mean, that's a niche artist, right? Per se.
Mhm.
It's obviously not mainstream. Ain't right new beats, but
Or you'll hear it and you'll be like, "Oh, I've heard that before," obviously, but you won't be able to identify it per se.
it's
I feel like that would happen to a lot of stuff where you know it and it's been around, but nobody knows where it came from.
with the internet though, I think that won't be too
That's
much of
true.
an issue since there's cataloging. And everything.
Do you think that the thing will, with its practical effects, will hold up for years to come?
A lot more than a CGI shitfest.
Yeah.
I think like now it's been many years since that, and you can tell that it's been manufactured. But what the movie does well is building tension and telling the story, and that I think will always hold up over time. Yeah. And Kurt Russell's awesome.
Just smash the guitars. He just does the thing. That's his
Just-
thing.
What a monster!
Evil Sin,
Next episode,
Flamethrowers
we're going to
and guitar
review
smashing.
Monster by Charlize Theron.
which is a better monster movie than Monsters
Or Monster Ball.
or Monsters Inc.
Or Monster Squad. Monster Squad.
Yeah.
That's my favorite monster movie.
That's
How about you? Actually, The Thing.
I don't know. There's monster movie really does have a broad can have a broad definition. I really liked The Thing. I would love to rewatch it again.
You're not allowed to. Would you do it?
Well, there's so many movies I haven't seen at all that are good.
Requiem
so I
for a Dream is
suppose
my
I should
favorite
start
monster
with
The
movie.
Fridge.
Because of the fridge.
Scariest fridge ever.
Yeah.
What about was it a baby in Trainspotting?
Yeah.
The ceiling.
That Adam Sandler movie. Monster Hotel.
Transylvania.
Also Transylvania.
Monster Hotel.
Spooky. I heard good things. I didn't see it. But I
Oh
heard good
no,
things.
sorry, that was Jack and Jill.
That was a
Monster Hotel.
Grown ups.
It's like the plane depot. I can't even remember what I said to make fun of you.
What's the ports with the air where they fly,
Planes, air.
Words.
where they blue balled me in that fucking Godzilla movie? So what movie are you gonna go see for the Super Bowl? From the Super Bowl trailers?
All of them.
All
Yeah,
of them?
probably end up seeing all of them.
All of them?
I don't really care if I see Independence Day or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Jungle Blurkle.
No, it's Jungleberg.
Jungler Blurt.
You wrote this, asshole.
Jungler. I
Are
can't
you trying to
it.
say Paul Blart Mallkarp?
Jungler Blurt Molotov.
June, Glee, Burke.
Jungleberg.
Jungleberg. See, it's not that tough.
I'll see that. I don't care about seeing Jason Bourne and then all of the superhero movies.
We have to
I
go
think
through all
I think
those.
we're a little bit too invested, and they're way too relevant in pop culture to miss.
You can't miss one, or you'll miss what the fuck's happening in the next one.
And I'm gonna go see Ben 10 Cleverfield Fold Lane.
I'm curious.
I'm gonna go see it.
I'll maybe see how it's rated.
I kind of don't want to give them my money because of how cheap and fucking shitty they are.
Maybe it'll be good.
If it's good, then I'll watch it on streaming services. You can now stream torrents, by the way. That's a brand new thing. You don't actually have to download
Really?
torrents. Yeah, you can stream movies.
So it makes it more
would
legal.
you consider
No, it doesn't. Highly illegal.
Civil War a monster movie?
No. Anywho,
Civil War?
Well, the Hulk.
he's not in it.
Uh,
They said he's not going to be in it.
oh.
So, no. No, we wouldn't. Hope you're happy.
Someday. Infinity Wars, man.
Thanos? He's a monster? He's kind of a dick.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we have for today.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Check us out on Facebook and our website. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Check us out on iTunes as well.
We are uploading every Monday. Or trying.
Join us next week for another podcast.
And until next time,
We're
Going nowhere.
Jungly bird.
Cookie cuckoo.